Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to the Mindfulness Daily Practice. Today's topic is called Mindfulness Bank. So, what's that mean? What's a mindfulness bank anyway? This is a concept that I think I've heard of a little bit, but I think more than hearing about it, it's something that I have experienced myself. So most of this topic just comes out of my own personal experience. And why is it present for me now? Is through this. Most of the topics this week have to do with this move that I've moved from one place to another. We've chatted about how moving can be really stressful. It can be one of the most stressful things you go through, but it doesn't matter. Like if you're not moving, it's. I guess what it's good for is that this broadcast that I do. I mean, the Mindfulness Daily Practice. One of the key things that I want to address is stress. And so, the benefit for you is that when I experience stress myself is that I can share some of the learnings that I got from that particular stressful situation. So this is no exception. Mindfulness Bank is the idea that the more that you meditate, as you do dedicated mindfulness practice, it's like we're making deposits in the mindfulness bank. We're practicing paying attention on purpose in the present moment without judgment. And as we practice doing it, we have some additional ability outside of our mindfulness practice to use this ability that we're cultivating. And so how much you meditate, it does have an impact on what's happening in your daily life. And this is something that I've noticed recently. And I guess here's an interesting note that I think tends to happen for us, is that when something really stressful goes on, especially something that's very time consuming, what we may want to do is pour more time into that thing. So, okay, the way that I'm going to deal with my stress is this list of chores that I have. I just need to keep pushing at those. And, if I eliminate all of the chores, all of my stress goes away. And I think what we tend to find is that list of chores, just kind of like our hedonic adaptation we talked about yesterday. It's like that list of chores tends to stay long. Seems like there's no end. That even when we get everything completed because of our dissatisfaction with everything, just this human condition of being dissatisfied, that we want to keep going. I've tidied up all of this, but this thing over here, this sure needs more tidying up too. And so we end up continuing to reinforce our own stress by just continuing to take care of all of it. And I think that this is really a common mode for us to want to fix everything externally before we take care of what's inside. And I think this is really where the mindfulness bank's helpful. So, if you're meditating every day, you're making those deposits into the mindfulness bank. And I guess the reason I like this analogy of a bank is that it really does feel like that. That the more stressful my life is, not the less I need to meditate, right? Like if I meditate less, then I'll have more time to take care of everything else. So I better scale back my meditation during these stressful times so I have more capacity to deal with everything else. And I find that in reality the opposite is true. That in stressful times, we in fact need to meditate more. What does it mean? What ends up happening when we meditate more? I think this is interesting because it kind of goes into the topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic is called "Should I meditate or should I watch TV?" It's the idea that I have these other self-care kinds of things to do. Like sitting on the sofa and watching TV. Like, this is a way for me to really relax, that I need to do this. But again, this is another one of those external activities that ends up continuing to feed the cycle of craving. So meditating is not as enjoyable, is certainly not as pleasurable as, at least for me, as watching TV or doing some other leisurely activity. But it is the one activity that has so much impact during stressful times. So can we, instead of, well, and don't take my word for it, give it a try yourself. Instead of, during stressful times, finding leisure activities as your self-care, instead just try meditating a bit more. Maybe you meditate, maybe this is your meditation, right? You're with me every day. So instead of meditating with me 15 minutes a day, you meditate with me, and then you do some additional practice and start to see what happens. And so maybe you'll see that this mindfulness bank kind of, maybe it exists. So every minute that I spend meditating, I'm putting some investment in my future stresses, so that when my stresses come up, when I'm encountering some stressful situation, I can make a withdrawal from my mindfulness bank, and I end up reacting to my life, responding to my life more skillfully, with more awareness of what I'm doing. And I don't think it's something that meditation isn't something like, I did it every day for 3 years, and now now I've got it. Now the skill is there. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Is that meditation, and this is from my experience. I did have a time where I scaled back my meditation, was meditating less. But I find that it just doesn't work. That I have to keep investing. I have to keep putting time into my mindfulness bank, depositing into my mindfulness bank, so that when the stressful situations do come up, I'm able to handle them with greater ease. And so what brought this on? Why am I talking about this topic? Was because during the move, if you're like me, you kind of you've got a place that you meditate, and you've got a time of day. For me, maybe it's just my style. I'm a structured person. I'm here every day at 5:10 in the morning, Singapore time. I like structure in my life, and when that structure disappears a bit, I get a little bit lost. And so this is what was happening in the move. So I was taking care of everything else. I was taking care of all of the things around me, but my meditation practice, not that I stopped meditating completely, but it was more of an afterthought, like, oh geez, it's 9 p.m. and I haven't meditated yet. I better hurry up, and I better squeeze up 5 minutes in. And unfortunately for me, this doesn't work. It is not that it doesn't work, but it's not enough. I still found myself responding poorly to difficult situations. So, my kids still have to go, I'm moving, but my kids still have to go to school. My in-laws are around, right? This is stressful as well. And so, trying to take care of them, take care of my kids, take care of the problems, in the inevitable problems that there are in this new place that I live. It's like dealing with contractors, dealing with problems with water pressure. So all of these additional things to go in made it so that my meditation practice kind of slipped my mind. And furthermore, I wasn't doing this practice either, right? Even though I'm leading the meditation at the 10-minute mark, which it is now, even though I'm leading the meditation, I'm still getting benefit from this practice too. So, it's not quite as much benefit as if I'm sitting quietly by myself and not speaking and staying completely focused on my breath, but I do still get benefit from this practice. So, I guess the lesson here is self-knowledge, and self-care. So learn about yourself. Try meditating more. See if that helps you to be more skillful in your life. If you meditate 15 minutes every day, try for a week, try meditating 30 minutes a day and see what happens. Thanks everybody. Thanks for your comments. I'm going to get into our meditation and then I'll look at the chat after our meditation's done. So go ahead and get into your meditation posture. So your posture can be something that creates alertness, yet is relaxed. So I would encourage you to sit up straight and tall. Bring your back away from your backrest. If you're sitting on a sofa, don't slunch down. Instead, sit on the edge of the sofa. Place your feet flat on the floor. Or sit cross-legged if you like. Find a way for you to sit up in a dignified posture. A posture that reflects your determination and your purpose, your highest intention for your meditation practice. Crown of the head towards the ceiling, chin roughly parallel to the floor. Hands can be resting on the knees or in the lap. Shoulders relaxed. Arms hanging like heavy curtains, just hanging there by their own weight. Seeing if you can relax the jaw, unclench your teeth, bring your bottom teeth slightly away from your top teeth. Keep your lips closed if you can. Breathe through the nostrils. And let's arrive here in our posture in stillness. So if you have any movements you'd like to make, just go ahead and make those now. And afterwards, just coming into stillness. Seeing if you can let your body be still for the remainder of today's practice. With that obvious exception, of course, which is the gentle movement of the body with the breath. Expanding as we inhale, releasing, contracting as we exhale. And seeing if you can bring your attention to your breath. Not the concept of breathing, but the actual physical sensations of breath itself, wherever they're showing up for you today. Maybe you're noticing your breath at your belly. Feeling the belly expanding and contracting as you breathe. Feeling your clothing getting tighter as you breathe in, looser as you breathe out. Noticing the sensations on the skin. Perhaps for you today, your breath is more apparent in the chest. Perhaps it's more apparent at the nostrils. You feel your breath coming in and out of the nostrils. For me today, I'll be following my breath at the abdomen. So, noticing breath at the abdomen can sometimes be a bit more relaxing. So, can you be aware of that expansion as you breathe in? Stretching of the skin, clothing gently brushing against your belly. As you breathe out, the relaxation, the release. In and out goes the breath. And you can be aware of each and every breath coming in and going out of the body. So focusing your attention wherever it is you're following the breath, as best you can, holding the attention there for as long as you can. And when you notice the mind wandering, gently letting go of whatever it is that distracted you and coming back, focusing once again on the gentle movement of the body with the breath. I just notice my own mind fast forwarding into the future, thinking about what's going to happen after this meditation's over. So now I'm letting go of those thoughts, coming back to the present, feeling my belly moving. This movement that never stops as long as I'm alive. This movement with the breath. Oh, and there I did it again. Fast forwarding once again into the future. So letting go of that thought, coming back to right now. Coming back to what's happening right now. I'm breathing right now. Those sensations of stretching out and collapsing back are happening right now. Feeling those sensations. Paying attention to them. And I was in the future again. So now we're coming back. Back to the present. Back to the breath. Okay. Congratulations, everyone, for having made it through today's practice, for investing a few more minutes into your mindfulness bank. Well done. Maybe give yourself a bit of thanks for having made it through today's practice, and I'll end practice with 3 rings of the bell. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for practicing with me. Thanks for being here today. Thanks you for taking this time for yourself. And as you practice mindfulness, you not only improve yourself, and this is one of the joys of the practice, is that as you improve yourself, as you become more equipped to deal with the world around you skillfully, you actually have a positive impact on the world around you as well. So, well done. Today's practice, I did find myself going into the future more, right? I think I commentated on that a few times. I think that's interesting to notice. So can you as well notice, where were you today? Were you going into the future, thinking about what's coming next? Were you drifting into the past? Were you fantasizing about something? It could be a positive fantasy or it could be something negative. Just seeing what happened for you today. Feel free to write it in the chat. I'm going to have a look at the chat here soon. But yeah, I mean, what does it mean, looking into the future or looking into the past? And I think it can be something important about distractions, to make sure to be aware of what it is that's distracting you. Because I don't always have my distractions going into the future. Sometimes my distractions bring me into the past. Sometimes it's some fantasy, and it's often not a pleasant fantasy, right? Something that's not happening that I'm imagining. Just seeing where you are. And I think a lot of times when you become aware of what it is that's pulling you away, you can have more, have more wise choices about what's going on throughout the day. So as you arrive at that moment that you were thinking about that future moment, because you've been more aware of it in your mindfulness practice, you have a higher probability of having a skillful reaction to it. Okay, now look at the chat. So we're going to start. Suzanne says, the list of chores never ends. So do take some time to get away. And it can be, just add a few minutes into your mindfulness bank so that you can more skillfully respond to what's going on. Barbara shares, an analogy that comes to mind is what the airline staff tells us. In the event of an emergency, stressful times, put on your own oxygen mask before assisting others. And that's so true. And how many of us walk around the cabin trying to put out fires without an oxygen mask on, and we end up passing out because of it. Janice asked, does it have to be on a non-guided meditation? It does not have to be on a non-guided meditation. The reason we use guidance is because guidance can be helpful in keeping us determined, keeping us focused, reminding us what to do. So it does not have to be by any means on a non-guided meditation. Hey buddy. So yeah, you can, and this is it, right? I'm not the one setting the rules. The person who's setting the rules is you, through your experience. So try guided meditations, try non-guided meditations. See what works, and monitor yourself. And I have to say, unfortunately, this is not a short process. For you to start seeing the effects of these things, it takes time. It takes regular practice to see, okay, here's the me that's showing up today. Here's the practice that I did. Here's the outcome. You can start, you can, I guess you can put a spreadsheet together if you want. I know Insight Timer at the end of meditations, encourages you to do some journaling. Like, how was the meditation today? Like, what, you can, or how am I showing up today? You can do that as well, and look back and see, if you want to collect data that way. For me, mostly, I'm keeping it all, most of it up here. I do encourage journaling though. Journaling does have some real benefit. Yeah, Janice shares, I also like structure. Yes, I can really relate. It helps so much, and I think a lot of us do. A lot of us who are here, It's just helps you to make sure that you do the important things. What's the way that I stay hydrated is keeping a glass of water near the sink, so that every time I walk by, it's like a reminder to myself that have I had enough water? Maybe I should drink another glass of water. Thanks, Leslie. Sybil shares what the topic today resonates so much. My meditation was so distracted, past and future. Thanks, Sybil, for sharing. Cece shares, I only manage to meditate regularly by coming here pretty much every day. Thanks, Cece. I appreciate you being here. Suzanne also does the water thing. It helps. I'll tell you what, here in Singapore, staying hydrated is really important. I found the first 2 weeks I was here, I was always tired, and I at the beginning I couldn't figure out why, and I realized it's just because I'm perspiring so much more. All right, time for me to say goodbye. Do keep investing in your mindfulness bank. Do notice what happens. Notice what happens if you invest more, if you invest less. Are you making big withdrawals because you're having stressful situations? Do notice what's going on in your life. Notice how your practice is affecting you, and modify your practice accordingly if you need to. Don't be like me, who goes through a really stressful move and forgets to meditate. See if you can remember, especially during the stressful times, to meditate more, and then you can handle your life with more skill, and hopefully, not get sick. And that's another thing. I've noticed I have a slight sinus infection, and I kind of attribute that, right or wrong, partially because I forgot to do my meditation. Meditation is proven, has been shown to increase your immune system, strengthen your immune system. So, because why? Because rest and digest. We're rebuilding our bodies during that time when we're not stressed. Not that meditation isn't always unstressful, but a lot of times it can be time for us to at least be more aware of our stress. And through that awareness is like touching the soap bubble. Oh, look at that stress. Right? Ooh, the cat, you so furry. All right, thanks everybody. Yeah, Frankie's okay. Frank's doing good. Thanks everybody for being here. Let's close our practice the way we always do, sending some well wishes to ourselves and to each other and to all of humanity. So follow along with me if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, wish you all happiness and peace. And may all life on this planet, any life throughout the universe, may we all be happy and peaceful. So I've moved the what is enough to Monday, and this will flow very nicely into our continuation of compassion. So look forward to seeing you on 2 days from now. So 48 hours from now. See you next time. Bye-bye.